Hi, I'm Cliffhanger, and this is the movie, Influencer. A weird girl invites a blogger to a mysterious island where one can take a break from social media. The film begins with a view of an emerald tropical island in the middle of an endless ocean. However, instead of horrible-looking but kind-hearted savages, an unconscious girl is lying on a sandy beach at the water's edge. The story switches to a blogger, Madison. The girl is earnestly speaking about the sacramentality of traveling the world. By this she means only 5-star resorts in Thailand, making Abby Sunderland burst out laughing. She takes pictures and posts videos, enviously looking at the publications of her colleagues in the influencer craft for the sake of education. Confirming her professional suitability, Madison takes a promotional photo with cream against a background of hotel scenery. In the evening behind the bar, she is approached by a well-fed Brit in full vigor who can't take any hints. Madison's hotel neighbor C saves her from the intrusive society of the crown's subject and suggests taking a walk further away. Walking on a narrow bridge over the water's surface, Madison confesses to her new friend that she was supposed to fly on vacation with her boyfriend, but he backed out at the last minute. She also reveals a scary secret of the influencer. She's not actually soaking up the mysterious Asian culture, but chilling by the pool, sputtering this nonsense to her followers. Then C offers her a real adventure and takes her off into the dawn on a scooter along the path that loops like the thread of destiny. Before the sun is up, the girls climb to the top of the mountain. From the sight of the exotic country spreading out before them, a delighted Madison's sense of beauty fails. She instantly makes a post with an obligatory message. How miserable you all are if you don't do as I do. The day continues with further exploration of a less touristy Thailand. Zoos, ordinary streets, taverns, and simple diners. Madison's smartphone just isn't fuming with tension, preserving photographic evidence of her exceptionality. Rounding off a languid evening, the girls pick up some fellow tourists to hang out for a bit. Returning to the hotel brimming with new impressions, Madison sees the door to her room wide open. She cautiously sneaks inside, pretending not to hear the disturbing music behind the scenes. Inside, she notices that all her belongings have been rifled through, and her documents have been stolen. C helps her new friend with a call to the police and the paperwork. It takes time to get a new passport from the embassy, 2 weeks to be exact. The new friend offers to pass that time together by fully plunging themselves into an exotic culture. Madison calls her boyfriend to tell the most unpleasant news. With infantile directness, he accuses the girl of sabotaging the planned shooting. The quarrel escalates into a breakup and a reassessment of values. Together with C, Madison takes a ride on tourist trails, exploiting poor Thais and not forgetting to keep her followers informed. The girls explore caves, scare bats, smoke on the pier of a fishing village, and never forget to take pictures. The destination is C's house in a remote neighborhood, yet that's not the only surprise she has in store for her friend. C wakes before dawn and leads Madison to the pier, where her boat is moored. It takes the girls to a remote tropical island, uninhabited, as it should be on decent islands. In the meantime, Madison notices the notches on a log, but does not pay much attention to them. Making a fire, the girls tell scary stories in the evening. Madison says that if she were a horror movie heroine, C would probably kill her on this deserted island. In response, C tells a creepier story. She would have just left her friend alone, dying of starvation, dehydration, and hallucinations. Madison objects that, as a mainstream influencer, she would be instantly missed by her followers and searched for, but the counter-argument beats this statement. Followers couldn't care less if she disappeared. Anyone can run a pointless blog. Taking it all as a hilarious intellectual game, Madison falls asleep quietly. At dawn, C, grabbing her stuff, carries out the plan she has told her and sails off the island, leaving her companion lying on the sand. The story is carried 3 weeks forward. C, having stolen Madison's accounts, continues to run her blog, using a wig and the magic of Photoshop. Having finished her contractual obligations with her sponsors and raised dough on it, the girl takes a break from social media. Madison's photo on the beach decorates her wall with 4 other competitors already on it. With a sense of accomplishment and a wallet bloated to the size of the blogger's ego, C wanders the streets and establishments of Thailand, keeping a sharp eye out for a new victim. Searching her Instagram account, she spots another lover of Asian exoticism and enchanting travel named Jessica. Hunting excitement hits her head, and C is already hanging on her future girlfriend's fender. Chasing her prey into a souvenir shop, C goes on the offensive. A casual conversation ensues, but it is unsuccessful. Jessica does not fall for C's charms. Temporarily retreating, she continues to study the profile of her chosen victim to pick up her keys. After tracking Jessica down in a bar, C presses her vanity by pretending to be her follower. The plan succeeds. Jessica responds. C gives her the Madison-inspired cover story, and in between, tells her that she has a huge villa booked on the island that is too uncomfortable to live in alone. During the photo shoot, C snatches a keycard from a new acquaintance so that she can sneak into the room after parting. After pulling an identity theft stunt, she waits for a call from her fellow in distress to invite her to stay at her place. But upon arrival at the villa, the girls are in for a surprise. A path of rose petals arranged by Ryan, Madison's boyfriend, who essentially pays the rent. Due to new circumstances, C has to make adjustments to a well-oiled scheme. Using a voice synthesizer, she imitates a call from Madison, who defends C and tries to chase Ryan away, but he insists on meeting in person. The three of them head to the coast. Taking a picture of Jessica, Ryan asks her about C and tells her how Madison was robbed. Piecing together such curious coincidences and C's legend, Jessica in turn wants to ask the guy about his relationship with her girlfriend. She also texts Madison in the evening to set up a meeting, unaware that C has stolen her account and has access to her chats. Jessica escapes from the bar to pack her things and get away from a suspicious neighbor. C follows her, letting the cab driver go. In the course of the conversation, all the coincidences come up, which suggest disturbing thoughts. When C runs out of logical arguments but fails to achieve a result, she resorts to one last argument, oldie-moldy violence. She bangs Jessica's head against the wall and then uses a stiletto heel to pierce her throat. Packing her body compactly into a suitcase, she washes off the blood, barely making it before Ryan returns. He has brought a bunch of guests to hang out by the pool, which naturally displeases the girl, who lives there without any rights. She asks the guy to send them away but receives a rude and cynical refusal. C picks up a kitchen knife and slowly walks up the stairs. Attention is distracted by the beep of her smartphone. Ryan has tagged her in the picture. "This is a fiasco, bro," C thinks, realizing that her incognito has been exposed. The plan has to be adjusted right away. She makes breakfast in the morning, mimicking Jessica's departure with a plate of leftovers. Ryan logs onto social media where he sees a fresh post from Madison. Supposedly, she's met the new love of her life. The guy gets upset, not realizing it's an insidious conspiracy of C and Photoshop. Upset, he spends the day with C, who carefully slips pills into his drinks, discussing matters of the heart and blogging. At night, C drags the stoned Ryan home to cunningly put him to bed, undress him, and fake intercourse. But most importantly, she needs access to his phone and account to delete a post mentioning herself. In the morning, they wake up in the same B, and the guy, making sure he's lying naked, notices a condom on the floor. C takes him to the ferry where they say a cold goodbye. Ryan is about to leave. After making sure that he has set sail, the girl burns Madison's belongings and the wig she used to impersonate her, thus covering her tracks. The girl's passport is the last to fly into the fire, and for some reason the cunning murderer has not yet got rid of it. The story suddenly goes back to the moment of Ryan and Madison's meeting. After the first date, the guy takes a picture and convinces the girl to try to become an influencer. While indulging in these memories, Ryan visits the hotel in Thailand from which Madison's last post was made. He asks the receptionist if his girlfriend was staying there. Receiving a negative answer and frustrated feelings, the guy goes to the bar, where he meets an Englishman. He barely remembers the episode with the stolen room and the two girls, who left the next day and never came back. After clarifying that one of them had a birthmark, Ryan continues to gather material. He shows a photo from the hotel the day before, but from the weather, it was taken much earlier. Then Ryan calls a friend of Madison's to see when he last spoke to her via video call, and learns that the last time she communicated was by voice only, just like he did on the phone. Suspecting all sorts of things, the guy revisits his girlfriend's stories. A frame-by-frame preview reveals the editing flaw. C birthmark peeks out from under the overlaid picture for a second. Haunted by vague doubts, he returns to the villa. Carefully examining the room, he finds a backpack, and in it, Madison's diary, which for some reason C hesitates to burn. As she walks down the stairs, Ryan delivers a preemptive blow to the head. After tying the girl up, the guy pours water on her to bring her to her senses. The shibari session, however, is not for the trivialities of the erotic, but for the interrogation. He confesses that he won't forget the sex even when he's stoned. Ryan wonders where Madison is now. As proof, he shows the diary. Yet C isn't willing to give up as easily as a commercial spot, though. She rightly believes there's no direct evidence against her, as opposed to the guy who beat and tied up the woman. When Ryan threatens her with a knife, she honestly tells her that she hasn't done anything to Madison and offers to take him to see her. In the night, they head to the pier where C pushes the guy into the water. Diving in after, she releases her hands behind her back and strangles him with the ropes. When he stops resisting, the girl swims to the surface. She loads the body into a boat and returns to the house to wash off the blood. Afterward, she writes a farewell post from Ryan's account and enjoys the return messages. Digging through his things, C, like Gollum, finds a cool ring. In the morning, she goes to the boat to take the body to the island. However, an unpleasant surprise awaits her on the beach, a still warm fire and a container to collect rainwater. There are many more notches on the log now, by the number of days that have passed. Realizing that she is on the verge of a grand slam, C grabs a shovel from the boat and heads out into the tropical jungle like a soldier. She cautiously circles the island in search of a survivor, but finds only 2 graves on top of a hill. Spellbound, gazing at the crosses, C doesn't notice Madison sneak up behind her, and with a well-aimed blow of her club knocks the girl to the ground. Not wanting to repeat the mistakes of horror movie characters, the blogger walks up to her lying opponent and strikes a controlling blow. After that, an exhausted Madison walks down to the beach, to the boat where her boyfriend's body rests. C wakes up to the sound of the motor running. She runs onto the beach and sees the boat rushing off in the distance, leaving her on the island just as she left her gullible victims. Realizing the irony of the situation, the girl laughs nervously as the strong-willed Madison steers the boat out to sea toward the inhabited islands on the horizon. The film ends with this scene.